Our meeting for today is going to be wrapped around Mike Ungerman's decision-making process and what he did to acquire a new EV. And I'll just turn it over to you, Mike. Thank you for doing it, and look forward to your presentation.
I'll sort of summarize it by saying a couple weeks ago on a Wednesday workshop, I did a presentation for APCUG on EVs, their functioning, how they work, etc. And a portion of it was on the research that I did in trying to buy a new EV, which I'll play a bit of the video from, probably about 10 to 15 minutes worth. So those of you who saw it might want to take a break or come back. It's up to you. Or there will be some information in there that perhaps you didn't absorb. And if you're new at the process, could be some new information for you to see. Then I'll actually talk about the factors that help me to decide first to buy an EV, full EV, battery operated, and then the process I went through to try to get the best deal that I possibly could, which is a story unto itself, but I'll attempt to abbreviate that. So I've got about 30 minutes worth going over the new EV, which you see behind me. It's a Hyundai Kona EV GT in the limited category. And let me switch here. Let's see, I guess I should share my screen first. So we'll go to screen number 2. And then I will go to workspace number 2. There we go. On the right portion of my screen is a document that's, I believe, Judy Toulour either has sent or will send out to everybody that attended the workshop with all of my resources. And I will post that to the Central Florida Computer Society's Tech SIG. And if someone will remind me or wants to capture, well, let's see, I guess you can't really capture the screen as I can, but I'll try to get that in chat before we leave. And it has all the links that we're going to use. So what I'm going to do now is bring this up, make it full screen, and I'm going to pick up at 2/3 of the way into the presentation that I did for APCUG. And, well, something just happened. Let's see what happened there. That's not what I wanted to do. I may have to go get it again. Hang on. All right, I will go get it again. I'm using pCloud for my data. And we'll go into documents and Central Florida Computer Society, meeting presentations, and okay, let's make sure I've got it again. Here's the video. It opened it up on the wrong, I think it opened it, no, it's okay, we'll bring that in. Jump.
The playlist itself, the vehicle.
Hang on while I get to that.
Let's take a look at a few of them.
All right, here we go.
We have dedicated automotive websites such as Edmunds, that Dan Edmunds is in charge of. Kelly Blue Book, Car and Driver, a company called Car Edge, which has the ability to get outdoor prices and black book values for your trade-ins. And then there's AI. And if you're going to use AI to search for information on EVs, you want to be sure to use one whose database is recent. So let's take a look at some of those resources. Here's the Kelly Blue Book website. And I've started out with the electric cars coming in 2024. And Again, these links will be available in the follow-up material. And we'll just take a scroll down through some without spending a lot of time. But you can see here's in alphabetical order, they by manufacturer, they start off with the Acura, the Buick Electra, which has been around, that name has been around for a long time, from 1959 to 1990. And obviously that's a name they had to keep and use for an EV. Dodge Charger looks just like the gas model, but it's a specialty concept car in this level, but they're saying it's could have 456 horsepower, 590 horsepower, and an even more powerful Banshee variant. So if you want to go fast, this will be a go fast EV. Fiat is probably the smallest to look at, but a little runabout for the urban area. Fisker is a new manufacturer starting up from scratch. They had the Ocean last year, and the Fisker Pear is expected to come out late 2024 or 25, be an intermediate sized SUV, very much the size of my Kia Niro. GM Sierra represents a line of trucks, and trucks are certainly going to be a very popular mode or model of vehicles. Hopefully they can keep up with the gasoline variants. Honda Prologue. Jeeps will be in the EV range, including their Wagoneer series. A brand new model called the Lucid Gravity, high performance, ultra range, luxury sedan, 3 rows. It'll start around 100 grand and be standard in an all-wheel drive dual motor version. Upgrades could include even a tri-motor powertrain generating more than 1,200 horsepower with a max range of over 400 miles. Polestar is a standalone manufacturer of electric vehicles. Porsche, as a manufacturer of sport cars, has gotten into SUVs and sedans, four-door sedans, and the Macan was a gasoline marquee and now is an EV. The Dodge, or the Chrysler, let's see, the Chrysler Ram truck. VinFast is a line of cars made in, of all places, Vietnam, and they are already importing their cars and expect 2 new models to be coming in 2024, sometime early. Volkswagen has taken up the gauntlet, and they're now up to their ID7, and they're in the process, basically, of counting up the model numbers from ID1. And even the Volkswagen bus, called the ID Buzz, is expected to be out in a single motor rear-wheel drive, about 275 miles of range with dual motors. And I was surprised to find out that it's only in the range of about 50,000. So for large families or people that need to haul things, this looks like it might be interesting. The Volvo EX30 is a model that I actually have a deposit on, and I doubt very much that I'll follow through on it because I'm getting so much value out of my Kia Niro, but I want to see what it's going to be able to do. And starting as a brand new model at $34,900 with tax tag and so on top of it, it's still going to be their least expensive EV with a range of up to 275 miles. Again, this is in the size of my Kia Niro, so it's attractive to me. The larger Volvo EX90 is the 90 series has been at the top of the gasoline line for Volvos, and this is going to be the largest Volvo EX90. 3 rows of seats, room for 3 golf bags behind the 3rd row, slightly larger overall size than the current XC90. Car and Driver. starts out presenting their EV of the year, the Hyundai Ioniq 6. And I don't have permission to rebroadcast their videos, so we won't take a look at this one, but just know that if you go to the Car and Driver website, you can see some of the EVs featured and then actually plug in any make and model by make, let's say Audi, for example, and then the various EVs that'll be there. Probably be obvious. Here's your A6 e-tron, and the latest year will be 2024. I just say go, and it takes you right to the page, which gives you an overview and a review and gives you their approximate prices. So this is a great resource, including some that might actually be on sale, although not necessarily EVs, near us. The Edmunds website, if I go to edmunds.com and electric-car and articles, there's their focus on all the EVs. They got new car pricing, used car pricing, some of the EV basics, and the videos. Dan Edmunds' video was in that group. And then tax credits for last year, which we want to get the latest one. Pricing for the cheapest cars, the latest news, and this is constantly being updated. So this is a good site to hang out on and taking a look at what's available. This is the Car Edge that I was talking about. I've liked this site and I'm actually a member of it, where I can get detailed costs to buy, detailed costs to sell my car, the Black Book ratings, and I have in my filter, I've just said, show me all electric cars for sale, and they will then sort it based on engine size, if it were gas, and days on the market, year and mileage, features. As I said, I do have the electric is chosen, and now they're showing me in order of distance from me. For example, I can buy a 2023 Chevy Bolt just 6 miles from me right now at $32,375, and then I can get information on it, and I can get the prices, and I can work out what a trade would be, and I can even send a query to the dealer. See, these are all the Chevys and the Volkswagens, and they're all working at how far away they are from me right now. Like this one is available in Orlando, 6 miles from me. So if I'm just looking to see what's available and maybe actually get out and do a test drive, if they're not so rare, and there's quite a bit of data available. As I say, it's a nationwide site. So while I was doing my research, I was using the AIs to help me find the vehicles that I wanted to talk about. So here's an example of what the inquiry of just asking Bard, for example, list every battery electric vehicle available for sale in 2024. And I can even listen to it.
While there are many exciting battery electric vehicles, BEVs, expected to be released in 2024, it's important to note that some announcements are still concepts or prototypes, and exact release dates can fluctuate. However, here's a list of some of the most anticipated BEVs you can expect to see in 2024. Sedans. 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6. This sleek and aerodynamic sedan boasts a spacious interior, long.
So naturally, I want to know, well, have you shown me anything or shown me everything? So I criticized Bard and said, are there any others?
Absolutely. Here are some additional battery electric vehicles, BEVs, you can expect to see in 2024, beyond the ones I mentioned previously. Sedans. 2024 Nissan Ariya. This stylish and spacious crossover SUV offers a comfortable ride, long driving range, and advanced driver assistance features.
And was this the entire list? Or might there be some more?
That's not the entire list of BEVs expected in 2024. There are many more exciting electric vehicles coming out next year. Here are a few more to add to your radar. 2024 Genesis GV60. This compact luxury crossover SUV offers a stylish design, spacious.
So not to be satisfied, I obviously said, any more?
You got it. Buckle up. We're going on a whirlwind tour of even more upcoming BEVs in 2024. Sports cars. 2024 Lotus Emira. This sleek and lightweight sports car offers exhilarating performance and a pure driving experience with a choice of gas or electric powertrains. The electric version is expected to arrive in late 2024 with a starting price around $100,000. 2024 Porsche Taycan.
So is that it, or did you leave any more out?
You're right. The list you mentioned is quite comprehensive. The BEVs I mentioned represent a significant portion of the anticipated releases in 2024, covering various segments like sedans, SUVs, trucks, sports cars, hatchbacks, luxury cars, and even commercial vehicles. However, it's impossible to create a truly exhaustive list, as some announcements might be under wraps, some cars might see delays, and new players could enter the market in the meantime. Here's my approach to your question. If you're looking for a general overview of the diverse and exciting BEVs coming out in 2024, the list I provided should give you a good starting point. It covers a wide range of options, budgets, and preferences. However, if you have specific interests or are looking for something very niche, it's always good to keep an eye out for news and updates throughout the year. Websites like Car and Driver, Electrek, and Inside EVs regularly publish articles and reviews about upcoming electric vehicles. Additionally, manufacturers often have dedicated pages on their websites where they announce upcoming models and share updates. I'm always happy to help you explore specific interests or answer questions about any particular BEV you're curious about. Feel free to ask me about features, specifications, release dates, or anything else that might pique your interest. So, while the list I provided is extensive, it's important to remember that the world of electric vehicles is constantly evolving. Stay curious, explore, and enjoy the journey as more and more exciting choices hit the market.
So let's see what his cousin, Bing, from Microsoft is saying. Similar question. Show me all the battery electric vehicles for sale in the US for 2024. And you get an initial list. And that's obviously not all of them. So they give you the sites, and it says it's one of 30 pages. So we can go through and see what else is available. So AIs are definitely a way to help you search to find out what you might be interested in.
Okay, I'm going to stop the video. And I will close this. And let's just take a quick look at the resource list, which includes that whole presentation if you want more information on what's going on in the world of EVs. Why are you still up there? No, I don't want you to do that. No, thank you. Okay, so I have a blog which has a whole bunch of YouTube playlists, and the playlists are sorted by the name of the EV or the technology of the EV. So if you actually go to the Wix site where I maintain that blog, and or I'll put it in the chat. In fact, let's just go ahead and do this here. Let's do supporting notes. copy it. Let's see if I can get to the chat from where I am with my screen. May have to stop screen sharing and go back. Let me come back here. And let me go into stop sharing for a moment. Go into chat. And let's see if it will pop in there. Okay. So if you capture the playlist, you will have that. It doesn't look like these links are hot, but the links will all be there as well. So I'm going to close my chat, go back and share my screen. And then switch back to my. So what did I finally wind up buying? A Hyundai Kona electric. And I started with a 6-year-old or 5.5-year-old Kia Niro plug-in hybrid that I've talked about in past presentations. And it would give me 26 miles of range before the hybrid gasoline engine would cut in. So for urban driving, short trips, it was good. And I have a solar photovoltaic system on my roof. And during the day, it would take basically 2 hours. So sometime between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, as long as the sun was shining here in Florida, on a more or less cloudless day, I could fully charge that small battery and then get my next trip taken care of, as long as the round trip wasn't more than 26 miles. If it was, it would just switch into gasoline and I'd use it. And in the 5.5 years I drove it, I would say that I filled up the 12-gallon gas tank maybe 10 times, if that. So it gives you an idea of how economical it was. A couple of trips that I made with it, if I recall, I came down to visit you, Huey, with it. And I used gas going down, or when I got down there, I used gas. And then I got back home and topped it off. And my mileage was somewhere around 50 to 55 miles per gallon. So it was very economical. But I got an itch. It's called the 7-year itch. And the car had only 15,000 miles on it in that period of time. But I figured it'd also make it a good trade vehicle. So I started looking at the equivalent Kia Niro 2024s EVs. And their price range was pretty close to 50,000, 40 something. And I could not get any Kia dealership to negotiate with me. Some of them would just tell me it's going to be MSRP plus. Some of them would tell me MSRP and that's it. Others would tell me, well, we have an $899 dealer fee and you must buy the accessories that we put on all of our vehicles, no exception. And oh, by the way, any discounts that you get, you have to use our financing. And it's all the dealer tricks that are out there. CarEdge helped me recognize those tricks and help me look for dealers that would have better pricing. And I was able to find one over on the Space Coast who was willing to talk, but he wouldn't commit to a price out the door until I came over to see him. And I wasn't going to drive to the coast with my car and then get stuck into having to trade it or have my wife come and pick it back up. So, excuse me. I looked at the Hyundai, which is very similar to the Kia. And I'm going to have to mute here for a second if I can do it without, I guess I can hit my space bar, I think. Sorry. But Car and Driver was the help, because what I did essentially is what I showed in the video. I went down and selected Hyundai, Kona, I also selected several of the other electric powered Hyundais. And then 2024, and I got this article and I started looking through it. And I liked it that the starting price of the entry models was at 34,000, at least 4 or 5,000 less than the Kias were. So that interested me. And I could go ahead and build a vehicle. And I went through and I looked at what's new for the year. I looked at the pricing. I saw that, for example, if I bought the limited model, which I eventually did, I was looking at about $8,000 more, but got a lot more features for it. And that interested me. They had some for sale near me, and I went ahead and looked at the Car Edge and saw some cars that were near me. And the dealership that I wound up going to, which I did not, let's see here. Well, here, let's let Gemini give us a summary of that article first. So here's Gemini's summary.
This is an article about the 2024 Hyundai Kona Electric. It discusses the car's design, performance, range, and interior. The Kona Electric is a fully electric subcompact crossover SUV with a starting price of $34,050. It comes in 3 trim levels: SE, SEL, and Limited. The base SE trim has a 133 horsepower motor and 848.6 kWh battery pack, while the SEL and Limited trims have a 201 horsepower motor and a 64.8 kWh battery pack. The Kona Electric has an estimated range of up to 260 miles on a single charge. The interior of the Kona Electric is more spacious and comfortable than the previous generation, and it features a new infotainment system with 2 12.3-inch displays. Overall, the 2024 Hyundai Kona Electric is a stylish and practical choice for eco-conscious drivers who are looking for a fun-to-drive and affordable electric SUV.
So what I essentially decided to do was hunt around locally. And I said, show me Hyundai dealers in the Orlando area. And we got a number of different ones, Car Gurus and so on. I've got a map showing me where some are. And they kind of limited themselves to the central portion of Orlando. But I went ahead and I looked, and let's just pick one. Go to their website, and we'll say new 2024 Hyundai Kona Electric, and search. Got a President's Day sale. Want me to come in? Definitely. Okay, so this is the entry level. Okay. And we want to see if they'll show us the details. They have some bonus cash that's still on, $7,500. When I first started looking, that was not available. And while I was still looking and checking dealers out, around midnight one night at the beginning of February, that popped up as a retail bonus cash being offered by Hyundai USA, and only on certain EVs. And the news articles that eventually came out about it was that was their way, since they don't offer the federal tax savings, because this car is entirely built in Korea, batteries in Korea, and the car's in Korea. So they said, we're going to try to get more people buying our cars by giving them that discount right up front. So knowing that I could get the price down, I thought that was pretty good. So I want to see the window sticker if they've got this. They don't seem to offer it. Some of them will actually show you the window sticker. And if you look at the window stickers on just about every Kia dealership that I went to, and most of the Hyundai dealers that are in this area, and they will have a whole series of fees. And these folks and others in the central area of Orlando had an $8.99 fee, dealer fee, administrative fee, additional dealer profit. You call it whatever you want. It's basically just slightly less than $1,000 add-on. And I didn't want to pay that even with the $6,500 or $7,500 spiff that was on there. So I started expanding my range, and I found Orlando Hyundai, if I remember correctly, in Claremont. So let me just see if I go back up here and do that. So it's Hyundai of Orlando, I think. I think it's Central Florida. Yeah, that's it, in Claremont. Get down to it. Here we go. And if they advertise it like they normally do, they're going to, there it is. Okay. So they say low upfront pricing. We put our best price on every vehicle, new, used, and certified. So you always get a great deal without any handling. And it is true. If they're going to sell a car at MSRP, they'll tell you right up front. It's just MSRP with no add-on. If there are going to be specific discounts like President's Day sales, then they'll put the President's Day sale pricing alongside it, showing what the discount will be. They also say we never charge dealer fees. And they're right. There's no artificial dealer fee added on. There will be a fee to register the vehicle. There's some fees required by Florida. There's fees required for the tax and so on, but it's not an artificial dealer fee. And they had cars in stock. So I called, well, first I did an internet inquiry similar to what they have here. It looks like Tyler's getting a lot of work. So it's their AI because there is no Tyler working for them. And they answered me and they said, yeah, come on out and test drive. And I said, well, I'd kind of like to get an out the door price before I do that. And they said, we've got the out the door price. I said, well, yes, but I can look at the car and I can see what's there, but I want to see what the actual dollar amount is out the door. And they weren't willing to give me a buyer's order in advance. So I said, well, I'll consider coming out to see you. And then I went to my local credit union and I arranged for financing of half the value of the car, hoping that my Kia would give me the other and I could essentially do a swap of my Kia and half of the value as a loan. And I said, okay, you have a car buying service? And they said, yes, we do. We use TrueCar. And I said, okay, thank you very much. So I went on TrueCar and I got the price of the car, which exactly matched the Hyundai of Central Florida's price. So that was a confirmation. And meanwhile, I'm getting phone calls all the time from their salesman. And one of the calls was from their internet manager. And I said, I'll come out and I'll test drive the car if you'll do an out the door price that matches my TrueCar price. And I said, sure, print it out, bring it with you. And I said, I want to do the whole deal without considering financing. Okay. And I want to do it as a cash deal. So I don't want to do a deal that depends on a trade, because most dealers, when you are trading a car, will jimmy the price around to adjust for lowballing your trade. And I had already gotten the black book pricing from Car Edge because that's a part of their membership is access to the Black Book. I also found out I could have done it through my credit union because they also have it as well. And the Black Book on my Kia for a trade-in was about $20,000. And and I said, well, if I do a $20,000 trade-in and I do a $20,000 car loan, and I'm right in the area, and I also, they said at Hyundai of Central Florida, they had a $500 military discount. And by that time, I'd gotten the pop-up of the $7,500 discount. So I was looking at 8,000 off of whatever the price was. And I wondered what I would get for my Kia, but I let them do the actual math for a cash deal. So we figured out what the cash deal was going to be, and it was, I suspected, right around 41, 42. And then I said, okay, now what about a trade? And they said, well, we've already done the negotiation for the price. The price is the price. And I said, okay, but would your used car manager be interested in buying my Kia outright? And they said, oh, he might be. So I said, okay, here's the keys. I took my Kia out to the used car manager. He came back in with a slip of paper. He gave it to the salesperson. And I said to the salesperson, whatever he's written on there to buy my car, I want you to convert my deal to a trade-in. And I don't want to see any change in any of the pricing. And I said, well, you will see a change. I said, and what is that? And he says, the sales tax. And I said, well, how's that going to change? He says, it is cheaper if you do a trade-in in the state of Florida anyway, on the sales tax that you pay on the new car. I guess it's some funny math that they figured out, but it was $1,700 less sales tax by trading in my Kia. So now I'm down to 38 something for a 49 MSRP car with all of the discounts and the trade-in. So I said, deal. And they wanted me to talk to the finance manager. And I said, no, I'm going to do it through my credit union. I said, well, will you at least talk to him? I said, sure, but I'm not going to change. And it turns out that they are vendors for several banks in the area, and it included my credit union. So they said, will you let us broker the loan with your credit union? The terms will be exactly the same. And they did, and I did, and we did the deal. I picked the car up later that week. So as much as I hate dealing for a car, that's what I got. Looks a little different in this picture than it was on their lot because I use a detailer in Longwood that has detailed all our cars in the past, put a ceramic coating on it. And I decided to put a little spiffy cyan trim on the side of the car, the vinyl trim, just to sort of set it off a little bit. So, and all of that is under a ceramic coating, which is a lifetime ceramic coating. So unless hail hits me or I have a collision or something like that, the finish on this car should last me for as long as I'll be driving it. Let's see. I think that covers everything I wanted to share. Yes, it is. So I'm going to close that. And I'll switch back. And I will stop sharing. And I will take questions. Stephen.
Yeah, I'm really interested in what kind of finance deal you got. What kind of interest rate did you finally end up by going to your bank?
It was quoted at 6.9 and it went down to 6.4 if I did automatic transfers from my checking account. And that's that half a point, if you will, was not offered by the Hyundai dealer. And when I went back to finish the loan up at the credit union. They said, if you set it up with your account with direct transfers, we'll give you another 0.5%. And I said, okay, let's do it that way.
I think you got the best, very best deal. I bet they hated dealing with you.
Well, you've got to shop around. As I said, that Car Edge service, it's Zach and Ray. It's a kind of a father-son deal. They have Mondays, they have Zoom presentations where they talk about everything in the car industry, buying and selling and so on. They're quite a couple. And they just decided to put together a commercial service where they do extensive research on what cars are selling for, what loans are going for, what lease prices are going for. They even have set up a brokerage service that if it's one of their partner dealers, they'll do an intermediary deal, and you can actually buy anywhere that they have a partner dealer in the United States, and it'll be transported to your house, and you can close the deal that way. But I didn't want to do it specifically that way.
And how far can you go with this one between charges?
It varies, but it's rated at 260 miles.
Okay. I think Kia rates theirs a bit higher than that, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, their EV. So I think it's over 300. Okay.
Well, the Kia offers some additional battery choices and some additional engine choices. And this is the first year of this particular Kona. They've made them before. They were gas first and then became electric, I believe, in 21 or 22. And then the 24 is another new year of change in the components and the technology. It's a little bit wider, which I was pleased with. It's a little bit more comfortable than my Kia was. But it drives about the same, which I do like.
Very good. Thanks.
Okay. Since we have this recorded and I've already posted in the chat the links of what I was doing, I think that's available to everyone if they download the chat. We'll send a copy of it out, and I'll post that on the TechSig email that goes with the video. Stan, did you want me to address the other subject you and I talked about, or are we in pretty good shape?
Yeah, let's let's do that, Mike. But I just looking in the chat and I do not see what you said you were going to post.
Let me see. It says to everyone. Oh, maybe I didn't hit the final.
I don't. It's not here.
There it is with links. Okay, so my apologies. It's there now. I had pasted it in, but I hadn't hit the enter key.
Okay, while we're looking at the chat, let me just make a quick announcement that the Central Florida Computer Society TechSig meeting is this coming Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We've been doing this for close to 40 years, I guess. There's no speaker, no program. It's just around the table. Everybody brings their latest toys or questions or interesting sites. And we yell at each other and have a good time for about an hour and a half on the fourth Tuesday of the month. And it's usually a week different from this meeting, but since we are on the third Sunday instead of the second one, that's why it's this Tuesday. Now, if you'll send me an email, I'll be glad to send you the link. And that's the end of that. So, Mike, why don't you go ahead with the other subject we're going to talk about?
Okay. This is primarily for the Central Florida Computer Society, but it's an option for other user groups. And that is, I'm sure most of you remember, the bulletin board systems that we used to have many, many years ago. And let me share my screen again. Share screen. There is a social media platform called Discord, which is up here in the upper left. And it's been around for quite a while, originally founded by gamers. And that's how I learned about it. I used to play some online strategy, role-playing and strategy games. And the games that I played would use Discord to put out rules, have discussions about tactics and strategy, set up times to meet, have just chat among the people playing the game. One game I played had something in the neighborhood of 250,000 people playing it all around the world, and would coordinate play times because it was different times of the day, over in Asia or in Eastern Europe or wherever else they were playing from. So in 2020, I got the idea, as we were all fighting COVID and not meeting in person. I said, wouldn't it be interesting to have an interactive bulletin board again? We did have a Facebook site, but not many of us were on Facebook. And I wasn't. I had left Facebook by then. So I said, well, let me see if I can set up a Discord site for the Central Florida Computer Society and structure it pretty much like our old BBS used to be. And we would have different forums on the BBS. We would have administration for the management to let members know what was coming up, like we have here. So I set up an administration initially. Then I set up a comments section so that people coming on board and joining could ask questions. And let's go up to the top on that. Let's see, when did we first start that? 5/29/2020. So about 4 years ago, I guess, is when we got this thing going. And over in the right, you will see a list of 34 people who at one time or another joined this particular Discord and are still listed here. Some are actually still current. And I had sent out an invitation to all the CFCS members in our TechSig and said, would you like to join? And I'll extend that invitation to anyone who's on board today. Let me just get let's see what I do here. I've got to send out an invitation. I think it says somewhere, I'll find it. Because I know you just have to find out where everything is located.
The second one down says invite people.
See, I can't even read my own. Here we go. All right, I'll set that, never to expire. I'll copy that and I'll put that in the chat as soon as I'm finished. And if I'm not mistaken, that will invite everybody at least to the administration section, if not to all the other sections that are there. And I'll probably ask those that have checked it out, I know Huey's been on, if you're actually seeing all of these sections when you come back in. So
I did this morning when I was on there.
Okay. So we have an Ask It basket, which that's what we used to pass around, a little basket with note paper, and people would ask questions, and a place for people to ask questions about technology things. A forum site that has technology. I've tried to filter out some of the old stuff, so there's still some active things back. It started in May 29th of 2020, and I've been putting a few things in here. So the latest one, if I get down to it, I think the oldest one was September 22nd. We've been talking about Rokus. So I said, well, let's see what's happened with Rokus, especially the Roku TVs. And so yesterday I posted something on the new Roku TVs that have high definition mini LED 4K TVs, all with the incorporated Roku. And We also had Mark Schulman's presentation that he did for Stug on computers on the moon, which I thought was very good. And I just happened to watch that last night, so I stuck that in there. And we'll just, anybody that wants to can just post their technology things that they'd like to let everybody else know about. Chromebooks. Back then, Huey was running the, did we have a Chromebook, Sig? I don't remember if we ever got
No,
one.
we had a program that Ron and I did called Chromebooks for Seniors. Or no,
Okay.
we just call it, yeah, Chromebooks for Seniors.
Okay. So we started this anyway, and it's a place for people to post or ask questions about Chromebooks. Obviously, there's a big section about Windows, and as of today, I posted something on question people said, how can I get Windows 11 on a machine that's only supposed to have Windows 10? Not that we recommend it, but it's a way to do it. Not a lot going on Android, but there's still some things that are very accurate, very current anyway. One of the apps that I've always liked is Wi-Fi Analyzer, so that I can check out the Wi-Fi that I'm at my house or at a friend's house or a relative's house when they're having problems. An Apple section that supported our Apple SIG, which is just Sean has just closed it, but it's still there. Windows utilities, lots of utilities that we've looked at. Today's main meeting discussion was announced, and I'll put the video and the notes from it. The Tech SIG, when we have our last fourth Tuesday, Stan,
Yes,
at 7.
yes.
Okay, so here's the last one that we documented was 9/22 of 20. So it'll be come up with the next one. Oh, and here is the Apple SIG. Okay. And then I took Huey's announcement today for the Windows SIG and put it up, and with the link to Huey's views and reviews, so you'll actually be able to see every month a link here as well. And then just general conversation. Doesn't have to be technical, but it's anything that you want to discuss with other members. And I did just put something in and leave it up to you and Huey and Ron, whether you want me to continue to leave it up or not, but it's just a promo for Tech for Senior, starting off with what's going to happen tomorrow with the Tech for Senior, and then Thursday's meetings. And here's the agenda for tomorrow's meeting, which is posted. So for me, it's kind of simple to maintain, all just putting in links and letting them deploy. And if we get to the point where we actually want to talk with each other, it's not Zoom. We did try a couple of meetings and it didn't work as well as Zoom does. But if you're on at the same time and you click the show membership list or hide it, you'll see that anybody else that's on at the same time, all you have to do is click and go down to the voice channel and you can talk to them. Anyway, Discord, CFCS, BBS, and sort of a step backwards in time, but a step forwards in technology. And Huey, you said you were on how many Discord?
41 different Discords.
And do you get alerts from each of them when new stuff is posted?
Well, there's numbers that are posted on those little circles that tell me. I think I can, but I don't do that.
Okay. Something else to check every day.
Yep.
I'm going to close this for now. And
Put the link in the chat, please, Mike.
the link. Yep, I want to stop sharing. I have to go back in here, and hopefully I've got it there. Let's chat and Discord link. Were we to decide that our website, which isn't maintained that much, is an anachronism, the domain name could probably be transferred to the Discord site, be forwarded automatically to the Discord site. So if somebody went to cfcs.org, they'd wind up at our Discord. Something to think about. if we decide to go that route as an alternative. Otherwise, for now, it's just in parallel with what we have now with our TechSig list on Google Groups.
Okay, here's my Discord. You can see here, the little red numbers over on the left tell me how many messages are for me or announcements. Do you see it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, like CFCS, if I click on that, takes me to the CFCS
yep.
Discord. But if I go to any of these others, let's say this one, tells me which one I'm at under announcements, and it shows me new announcements and let's see what else I got here that you might recognize. Open Art AI, Pika. And so you can, some of these you can actually, they don't have a website and you can create whatever AI they have, you can do it right on Discord.
I noticed one of the original posts that you sent out to everybody on the TechSig, or it might have even been discussed on Tech for Senior, was to a Discord that would then generate AI images for you with open commands. And it was just a publicly available. You didn't have to join the Discord. It was just publicly available to use them. It's become very sophisticated in the macros that they can use, and I haven't even investigated all the different controls that are available.
The invite link works. I just got in.
Good. And when you got in, Drew, did you see the complete list down the left-hand side of the different channels? Not just the
I will tell
administrative.
you. If I go into Discord, I see only the administration.
Okay, so what I'm
I
going
see
to
a list of all the members.
I will probably have to post a post in administration.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Correct that. I can see all the other ones.
Oh, good. Okay, on the left-hand side. Yeah.
Yep. I can even look inside them.
Okay. Good. Yeah, some of the Discords that I was on the game Discord servers kept their channels semi-private, and you could see the names of it, but you had to request access from the manager of that particular channel. And I don't think I set ours up that way. I just left them open.
No. I can see everything that looks like.
Okay, good.
Well, I think we've had a informative and busy afternoon. Anybody else have any further comments or questions before we wrap it up? Okay, well, I don't have control of it, but let's stop the recording.